All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into this Intervals Pro app. I know you're probably thinking about leveling up your workouts. And this might be it, especially since you're mostly working out at home in the garage or outdoors. We've got all the info app descriptions, user reviews, even some developer responses. So let's see if Intervals Pro can actually deliver on this promise of interval training at its best, and if it's worth upgrading from the free version.
Well, I'm seeing that the app is designed to be super versatile. It's not just some simple interval timer. It's like a customizable workout command center. You can use it for HIIT, Tabata, running, strength training, yoga, you name it.
And I noticed that it works independently on the Apple Watch. That seems like it could be a game changer. You're not chained to your phone anymore. You can just take your workouts to the garage, the park, wherever.
Exactly. That's a huge plus, especially for someone like you. Imagine you're doing a kettlebell circuit in your garage. You could use the app on your Apple Watch to set up intervals for your work periods and rest. You wouldn't have to constantly check your phone.
That's convenient.
Yeah.
So walk me through this customization. What exactly can you tweak?
Well, the core function is setting up these interval timers. You can adjust the duration of each interval, you can give them custom names, you can even color code them for easy visual cues during your workout. It's surprisingly detailed.
Wow. And the reviews mention it works for more than just traditional interval training.
Absolutely. Yeah, like Runner 1983 talks about using it for run and walk intervals.
Yeah.
And hashtag Yamjeti incorporates it into their kettlebell, HIIT, and even yoga flows. So even though you're working out in different locations, you're not limited in the types of workouts you can do.
This is sounding really impressive. I know you like data, so tell me about the tracking capabilities. Does it just track time, or is there more to it?
Oh, there's way more. Intervals Pro can track calories burned, heart rate, distance, pace. It can even map your running routes if you're working out outdoors.
Oh, wow. So you're saying I could leave my phone at home, track my entire outdoor run with the Apple Watch, and get all that data synced back to the app?
You got it. That level of data can be a real motivator, especially if you're into tracking your progress and seeing those numbers improve over time.
I can see how that would be helpful, especially if you're trying to get past a plateau or set new fitness goals.
Speaking of pushing limits, one of the things that really stands out about Intervals Pro is how well it works with metabolic conditioning, VO2 Max training, and just overall cardio improvement. These are areas where interval training really shines, and this app is designed to maximize those benefits.
All right, break that down for me. How exactly does this app help with things like VO2 Max? I know it's important, but I'm not totally clear on how.
Let's say you're using the app for your outdoor runs. You mentioned you like mixing things up. So imagine setting up a custom interval timer that pushes you to sprint for short bursts, followed by recovery jogs. This type of training, high intensity, followed by recovery, directly challenges your cardiovascular system, and that can lead to a measurable increase in your VO2 max over time. And a higher VO2 max means better endurance and overall cardiovascular fitness.
So I'm essentially training my body to use oxygen more efficiently, which means I can run harder and longer.
Exactly. And the app makes it super easy to structure these kinds of workouts. You can set target heart rate zones to make sure you're hitting the right intensity levels during those sprints.
That makes sense. And what about metabolic conditioning? I've heard that interval training is great for that, but I'm not sure how the app factors in.
Well, remember those kettlebell circuits you do in your garage? With the app tracking your heart rate and guiding you through those high-intensity intervals, you're pushing your metabolism into overdrive. And that translates to more calories burned both during and after your workout.
So even when I'm done with my workout, my body is still working harder to recover, which means I'm burning more calories.
Precisely. And that's a key benefit of metabolic conditioning. You're basically turning your body into a more efficient calorie-burning machine, which can be helpful for both weight management and overall fitness.
That's amazing. I'm already starting to see how this app could be a game changer, especially for someone like me who values flexibility and data-driven results. But before we get too carried away, there is a free version of this app. What's the catch? Why would someone shell out for the paid version?
Well, that's a great question. And honestly, it comes up a lot in the reviews. The free version lets you try out some of what Intervals Pro can do, but it doesn't have a lot of the features. You can use the basic timer, but that's about it. You're pretty limited when it comes to actually customizing things.
So the free version is like a teaser, but to get the good stuff, you have to upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. And based on what people are saying, the ability to completely customize your timers is huge. People are making really specific workout sequences that are made for their own goals.
Like Ongolius, who mentioned being frustrated with the free version, but ended up loving the app after upgrading.
That's the one. It seems like a classic try before you buy situation, where you don't see the real value until you can control everything about your workouts.
Okay, so let's talk about those user reviews. You've mentioned a few already, but what's the overall consensus? What are people loving about this app? And what are some of the drawbacks they've pointed out?
Well, the reviews are overwhelmingly positive. People love the customization, the intuitive interface, and the level of control it gives them over their workouts. And like we said earlier, the Apple Watch integration is a big plus, especially for people who work outdoors or want to leave their phones behind.
Some users have expressed concerns about relying solely on the Apple Watch, though. Do the reviews address those concerns? What are the potential limitations of leaving the phone behind?
Yeah, that's a good point. There are a couple things to keep in mind. First, while the Apple Watch functionality is great for tracking your workouts, you will need your phone nearby to actually create or edit those custom intervals. You have to do that initial setup on the phone app.
So it's not a deal breaker,
Yeah.
but something to keep in mind if you're thinking about creating new workouts on the fly, while you're out on a run, for example.
Right. And second, the app tracks a lot of data, but it doesn't capture elevation or weather information. Some users have said that's a drawback.
I can see that. If you're training for a hilly marathon, for example, that elevation data would be pretty important.
Definitely. It's worth noting, though, that the developers seem to be really responsive to user feedback. They answer questions and have actually implemented suggestions for improvements based on what people are saying.
That's always a good sign. It means they care about making the app the best it can be.
Exactly. One thing that stood out to me when I was going through these reviews is just how much people emphasize the ease of use. Even people who are new to interval training found the app easy to figure out and get started with. And for someone like you who's already comfortable with technology and fitness concepts, I think it would be really easy to learn.
I like that. I like powerful tools, but I don't want to spend hours trying to figure out the settings just to get a workout going.
I get it. And that's one of the strengths of this app. It has tons of features, but it's designed so it's not overwhelming.
So Intervals Pro seems to have a lot going for it. Customization, data tracking, Apple Watch integration. It seems like it checks a lot of boxes, especially for someone who wants flexibility and efficiency in their workouts. But is it really worth the hype? Is it actually a game changer, or is it just another fitness app with a fancy interface?
That's the big question, isn't it? I think the answer really depends on you and how you think you're going to use the app. Think about your current workout routine, your goals, and what you're struggling with. Does Intervals Pro help with those things? Does it fit with how you like to train?
Yeah, you're right. It's all about using the right tool for the job.
Exactly. It's easy to get caught up in all the hype, but the most important thing is if the app actually helps you get to your fitness goals. And to be honest, if you actually like using it.
So before you download it, think about whether Intervals Pro really fits into your fitness journey and whether it's something you're going to actually use and benefit from.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, one thing I'm thinking about is using this app to help me break through a plateau. I'm feeling kind of stuck lately, and I'm wondering if Intervals Pro could maybe shake things up a bit.
That's a really interesting thought. You know, one of the best things about interval training is that it can challenge your body in new ways, and that's what this app is all about, right?
Yeah.
By going back and forth between high intensity and recovery, you're kind of forcing your system to adapt.
So instead of doing the same workouts over and over, I'm always trying new things and challenging myself.
Yeah, exactly. And when you combine that with all the customization options, you can create workouts that really target your weaknesses or push you beyond what you normally do.
So like if I'm trying to run faster, I could use the app to create a workout with short, intense sprints.
Exactly. And then you could slowly make those recovery times shorter, and you'd gradually be pushing your body harder and making yourself faster.
Wow, that's cool. That's like having a personal coach in my pocket.
It really is. And that can be super motivating, especially if you like structure and seeing your progress.
This has been really helpful. I can see how Intervals Pro could be a really useful tool, not just for keeping track of my workouts, but for actually making me fitter and pushing me to do more.
And that's what it's all about, right? Finding things that help you reach your goals and make fitness more fun and rewarding.
Totally. So if you're listening and you're feeling stuck, or maybe you just want to try something new and challenge yourself, you should give Intervals Pro a try. Check out all the customization options, try out different workouts, and see if it helps you get back into it.
I agree. The best way to know if something works for you is to just go for it.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We hope you have a better idea of what Intervals Pro is and whether it's a good fit for you.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing yourself to be your best.